It's time to make money your number one employee. This is the Extremely Opinionated Podcast, where regular people get to share their extreme opinions about finance, investing, business, startups, and more. With your host, Dr. Travis Davis. He's always searching for his next ace.
What's going on with y'all? It is Dr. Hustle here yet again with another episode of Extremely Opinionated. Once again, this is the podcast for your elite entrepreneurs who are out there hustling at their max. And of course, you guys know we're always live from the Tesla. Well, not always, but most of the time. But here today, we're actually heading down to the Annapolis Yacht show. I have a client out there that I'm working with, so I'm going to go check out their operation that they have going on out there, and hopefully meet some new clients as well. But on this trip, I brought out one of my close friends as well as another elite entrepreneur, Devin Mickens. He is an officer for us here in the world, as well as he is a photographer, specializing in wedding photography, right?
Yep.
Wedding photography. So if you guys need your weddings, make sure you guys check him out. But we're going to get a little deeper into exactly what he does on this episode. So make sure you guys tune in. Don't forget, go to extremelyopinionated.com to hear past shows as well as this present show, and the notes will be there as well, so you can access Devin Mickens. And also, leave a comment. Make sure you comment about the episodes, like and share it, so we can keep this thing going and letting the world know about our amazing entrepreneurs out here. So let's get into it. So Devin, how long have you been doing photography?
So I've been doing photography since the 12th grade at high school. I got into it. I took a class. I've always been an artist. So in high school, I used to make music production. I went to a magnet school where we did a whole bunch of technology. So my first art that I was into was music production, making music. I had a choice from college. I was thinking about going to HBCU to do music production. And then I was also thinking about doing photography, but then football took over. So I went to college. That's how I met Travis. We went to college. We played football there. And then I just took a couple of years off from the photography business because other things, kind of like my motivation was different. I wanted to make money, but I didn't realize that turning your passion into a means of income can be more rewarding. So maybe 6 years ago, I bought a mirrorless camera from Sony, and I just perfected my craft. I went out and shot as much as possible, practiced as much as possible, took as many classes as possible, and then last couple of years I kind of like took it serious. I'm like, look, it's time for you. You're good enough. It's time for you to invest in yourself. So I continue to invest in my craft, continue to perfect it, bought more gear, and I'm here where I am now. It's been amazing, the journey. I'm just excited about the future.
That's dope. So let me ask you. I know you said that you've always been into it, but the last couple of years is like really when you dove down into it and started perfecting your craft. But why is it? Why did you decide, like, hey, it's time to stop playing around?
A couple reasons. One is I had my first child, my son. My son was born, and something clicked in me. I don't know what it was. Something clicked like, look, you're good enough. You are enough. Seeing him wanted me to be better and wanted me to be something that he can look up to in every facet of my life and appreciate who his father is. So first pictures. And then I was looking like, okay, it's time for you to share your art with the world. Because normally I just share it with friends and family. I'm taking pictures at events. I'm keeping it in-house. But I realized it's time for me to share it with the world, share my art with the world. And the world's been reciprocating that love. So ever since then, it's just that click in your mind once you realize that the only thing that's separating you from the people that you want to be is they actually did it. At first I was just thinking about it, but once I actually did it, I realized it's no different. At that point, the sky's the limit. Everybody that's where I'm at, everybody is where I want to be. The only thing that separated them from me is they actually believed in themselves. They actually put out a plan, and they tried their best to execute it. So along the way, there's things and hiccups that's going to come, but they continue to strive forward towards that goal, and then they're where they're at. I mean, we're all human beings. We're all born pretty much with similar traits, and then we just continue to progress towards our goals. And that's the only separation.
I mean, I tell people all the time, the biggest thing is just to get started, and those people that you're seeing who are where you're at, that's your blueprint. Don't try to create a situation out of the blue. So if you did want to get into photography, don't just say, hey, I'm gonna figure out this photography thing on my own, and don't look at another's path. Especially since we have the internet today, you can find a person who's developed in photography, and that's the $1 million blueprint for you to become successful. Of course, you got to do it in your little own method, but literally take their strategy. Whatever they're doing, you need to implement that into your business too. So I'm definitely glad that you're looking at what others are doing and realizing, like, hey, it's not hard. I can do this too. And that's what makes it 10 times easier, is if you already can see somebody doing it, boom, like, do what they do.
So one thing that I learned from you that I started applying to my photography business is I reverse engineer everything. I try to think backwards. So what I started doing was I look at my favorite art on the internet. A lot of times your favorite artists, your favorite photographers, they'll list their settings for whatever shot they took underneath in the comment section. So what I do is, before I even look at the comment section, I look at the picture, see what I like about it. I zoom into their eyes and see where their lighting was at. Try to guess where their lighting was at. See where the catch light was at in their eyes. How many lights did they use? What sources did they use? I'm guessing in my mind. Then I zoom out and I look at their face, and I'm saying, is the lighting that I guessed on their eyes matching what I'm seeing on their face? And then I go down in the comment section. Well, before I go in the comment section, I guess to see what their settings were. Then I go down and see that, and see if what I guessed was pretty much accurate with what they shot. So then that helps me think about ideas that I want to do. Like, if I want to recreate their shot that they took, would I be able to do that? And that helps it stick in my mind. So that's just my technique I use to create shots. So I'm not going to go out and create the same shot that they created, but there are certain aspects about that look that I want to take away.
Right.
So one of the things I like when I see a catch light with multiple catch lights in their eyes. So if you want to know what a catch light is that if you look at someone's eyes and they make it pop and it's like a white section in their eyes, and make it look like they got a glow, that's the catch light from whatever light source they're using. So some of my favorite artists that I follow, they use multiple catch lights and multiple reflectors. It makes their eyes pop, and it makes that picture stand out a little bit more than the average. So it's just little things like that I try to pick up on to increase what I do and what I can offer. So reverse engineering, that's something I learned from you.
Absolutely. We call that sharpening your axe. That's literally what you're doing. If you're looking at a photo and before, yes, the answers are below. But if you look at the photo and you try to come up with the answers before you look at them, you're sharpening your axe. And it's like, I say that because if I told you to go cut down a tree, the average person would just pick up an axe and start hacking away at the tree. But the smart person is going to sit there for 3 hours and make sure he has the sharpest axe that he could possibly have and go cut the tree in 10 minutes. You know, and that's the difference between an elite hustler and a regular hustler who, doesn't understand that the prep work can literally change the game for you. So glad that you're able to take the information that I've been talking about and apply it to your own business. Because at the end of the day, everything that I'm saying, it really doesn't matter which industry you're in. As long as you have the internet, the same techniques that I use can be used across the board for any profession. You just got to have a drive and a will and a want to do it. So going into my next question, could you tell us what your biggest struggle has been or what it was before it? I know, during business, we all struggle. Look, even myself, where I'm at today, I still face struggles each and every time. But what has been one of your biggest challenges or struggles so far with pursuing your photography, your photography industry, and making sure you become that go-to wedding photographer?
One of the things was an internal struggle was not believing in my value that I was adding when it comes to pricing. At first I didn't believe people would pay what I was charging, maybe because internally there was something subconsciously telling me that I wasn't good enough to charge them. But I had to get over that mental mind block or that roadblock and realize that I am offering a service that's comparable to the price that I'm charging. So that was my first thing internally, and then not believing that people are willing to pay what I'm charging. So it all comes in that was all like a mental roadblock. I know my service is good enough. I know the value that I'm going to add to the shoot, to your wedding day. I know the detail that I'm going to take to put into your special day and the moments that I'm going to capture. And I know that the service that I'm going to provide is worth the charge that I'm going to charge you for. So that mental roadblock was the first thing that I had to get over. Second thing is, word of mouth. Photography is big on word of mouth. People got to trust you. So the first couple years, I was just putting out free work. I was just doing a lot of things for free just to get to build in that trust in with my clients and then having that word spread. So initially, it wasn't about the money. It was just out there getting my name out there and just doing as much work as I could.
Right.
So that initial grind was probably the hardest part. But now that my name is out there and now that the work is out there, I think it got a lot easier. I think it's been flowing since then.
So with you doing the free stuff, do you think that really helped you with letting down that wall that you built internally, telling yourself that I'm not good enough to charge this price, or why would somebody pay me to do X, Y, and Z? Was it the free work that helped you to realize I can do this?
See, I think it's more about what we've been taught in the system that we grew up in. We normally put a lower value on your hour than what you're really worth. So you go to a job, a 9 to 5, and they pay you $30, $40 an hour to do your job, and to you think that's a lot of money, and it is for a lot of people. But then when I come in as a photographer and say I'm gonna charge $250, $300 an hour, that's a big step up coming from that system that I was raised in, to open my mind up to think that I am worth this. When a $100,000 job is only paying you $60 an hour, who am I to come in and charge you $250, $300? So once I got over that mental roadblock and understood that I'm providing the service and I'm capturing a moment that's going to last you a lifetime, these moments, these special moments that I'm capturing, you will forever look back at that. That service that I'm providing is actually a deal at $300 an hour for your wedding day, because those pictures you'll be able to look at forever. So that hour that I'm there with you will last you forever. And those pictures, you can do whatever you want with them after I deliver them to you. So that hour goes on forever. So that's how I look at it. And then once I got that mind state of thinking about the system that I was raised in, things became more clear. So basically, my main thing is, in order to be a business for yourself, you have to think outside of the box that you was raised in. I don't know if your listeners, how many people were raised in that institutionalized box that we was raised in, to trade in your time for money. But once I started to realize that there was a bigger world, there was more out there, things changed.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of my listeners are in the same bubble, because the government produces new workers each and every June and December, whenever college graduates. So a lot of people are stuck in that mindset that you got to go to work to get a paycheck, which, guys, I'm not saying don't go to work, but you are supposed to create another hustle while you're working, so you can remove yourself from that, because as he stated, you're worth 10 times more than your $20 an hour. I mean, even if you're doing $40, $50 an hour, you, as you've heard, you could be doing something that pays $250 an hour. Myself, to sit down with me for an hour is going to cost you $1,000. So the possibility is there once you realize your self-value, and you really pursue your passion. So I know you said you had an issue with the pricing. How did you come up with your pricing?
I just looked at the market. I looked at what people were offering, and I compared my work with their work. And I felt like my work was just as good, and if not better in most cases. So that kind of told me what I was worth in the market and in the industry. And at this point, I could still be off. I could still be charging more. So I still could be selling myself short at this point. But that's just the constant evaluation of what you offer and what your services is, and what type of product can you offer your customers. So that's a constant evaluation. I think the numbers will always change, and I think the more you perfect it, and the more you get better, and the more services you can provide, and the more things I can offer on wedding days, as far as my drones, videography aspect, the more that the price tag will probably go up. So that's a constant evaluation. But to answer your question, is I looked at the market, and the market kind of told me what I was worth initially.
And that is the reason why everyone out there, you want to do your research, do your homework, so you you can really understand, like, what are people currently charging. And a key thing that he stated there was he can charge more. He still has room that he can raise his price tag. And I know I talk to him about this all the time, of creating an offer, an irresistible offer that, if you want to charge $1,500 an hour, well, what can you offer that someone would pay $1,500 an hour? You just have to create that package. As he stated, drones, X, Y, and Z. If you add all of that in there, wedding day, you're saying that you got drones flying, and you got a videographer and 4 camera people, and you're going to give them X, Y, and Z afterwards. You're creating the offer that they cannot resist, and that right there alone, it justifies the price, and that is how you get that elite level payment that you want. Now, granted, starting out, you might not feel comfortable with jumping out that high, but once you get going, you'll start to realize, I can do a lot more. And I know in the beginning, when you started out online a couple years ago, I taught you about affiliate marketing, and you were able to sell some products. And was that a sign of, like, it's a different world out here for you?
Yeah, because I didn't think nobody cared about who I was and what and my lifestyle, but I realized a lot of people face the same struggles that I faced. So initially it was the vegan lifestyle. I've been doing vegan for about almost 8 years now, and when I initially started, nobody, or a lot of people that I associated with, didn't care. It was like, nobody's eating rabbit food. So initially I just thought people didn't care. And then once you told me, hey, people really want to hear what you got to say, people want to know your story, people want to know how you healed yourself from the ailments that you was facing. So basically, to tell my story as quick as possible, I was 25. I went in for a physical. I was telling them about my heartburn and my GERD, my acid reflux, and they told me, okay, we'll give you prescription medicine for it. I'm like, okay, how long would that be? And it's like, forever. Like, you're gonna have it forever. I'm thinking to myself, I'm 25. There's no way that should be happening. I shouldn't be on no prescription medicines forever. So I went back to the basics. I realized that I studied nutrition in college. I realized that I needed to fix it. My diet was causing my internal pain. I came across this book, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And a week after reading that book, I went to the grocery store, and for the first time ever in my life, I spent $200 at the grocery store.
Turn left onto Green
to me,
Street.
That was a big thing, coming from eating oodles and noodles at the Dollar Tree, and the dollar steaks and the dollar chicken nuggets at the Dollar Tree. So spending $200 at the grocery store was life-changing for a single person, for me. But I spent $200, and that was probably the best investment I've ever made. I spent $200 at the local health food store. I took out all processed food that first week. The second week, I was like, I can do this. I took out meat. And ever since that second week, I haven't had heartburn or GERD or acid reflux since. And I attribute that to the lifestyle changes I made as far as my diet. Ever since then, life has been good. So the main thing was, like you told me, people wanted to hear my story. People wanted to hear what I had to offer.
Now turn left
Because
onto
somebody
Green
wrote that
Street.
book that I read that changed my life. So people also wanted to hear what I had to offer as well. Hopefully I can change someone else's life. Hopefully I can offer something that can help improve somebody's quality of life.
In 500 feet,
And ever
turn
since
right
then,
onto
I realized
Green
people
Street.
do want to hear what I got to say. People do care about the art that I want to provide. People do need everything that I have to offer. Someone out there is my perfect person that needs everything that I have to offer. So you kind of sparked that in me with that internet marketing as well.
And
Now turn right onto Main
that's
Street.
huge to understand. Like, just talk, right? Like, if you just talk, you'll find your tribe. And with the internet that we have today, you literally can get that tribe
Now enter the roundabout
and
take the second exit.
sell them products, right? Like, even with his photography, we know that people need cameras. We know that people need stands, bags, etc., right? Well,
Now turn right onto
the internet
West Street.
has opened up the floodgates where you can market the same product, like those products that you use. You can market those products and literally generate an income off those products becoming an affiliate marketer, and it doesn't cost you anything extra to do it. You don't have to own the products. You don't have to have them in your house, or you don't have to deal with the customer as far as selling. You're able to just direct somebody to a link and make a killing. and they'll share that link with other people, and you still make more money. And that's the beauty about affiliate marketing, this internet world that we're in, because the opportunities have opened up for us, but we just got to take advantage of them. So I'm happy to hear that you're taking full advantage of that, because it enables you to open the cart. As he said, $250 an hour, right? You charge $250 an hour. Well, don't leave the other money on the table, right? Because as you're taking those photos and you're doing X, Y, and Z, well, there's other photographers out here who want to learn photography, and why not teach it to them, And you can do that and make another supplemental income for yourself. And that's exactly, how you get going and increasing your profits, so you can literally go enjoy life. So definitely dope that you're doing that. Now let me ask you, who has been your biggest supporter in this journey?
To be honest, my wife and you. I talk to you guys every day about business. We have at least an hour conversation every day about something new, something that we can offer, how to perfect what we're doing. So you two guys have been my biggest supporters, and of course family. But they support what you're doing just because you're doing something. You two guys are my everyday people that I talk to every day about the intricacies of what's going on, the ins and outs every day. Something better to perfect myself. I thought I was my biggest critic, but you two guys are my biggest critics. And sometimes it's kind of frustrating, because you think to myself like, yo, I done worked all this hard and you're going to tear my stuff down. But that's what you need. You need someone that's going to give you some honesty and something to evaluate. So pretty much every picture that I look at, I make sure that my wife looks at it. She critiques it as well as I do. So it's always good to have an extra set of eyes on everything that you do. So we bounce ideas off each other constantly. So I would say you two guys were my biggest supporters.
What's up? You definitely want somebody in your corner who's going to tell you the truth. It's nothing worse than having somebody lie to you, and that's one thing that I really harp on. I'm going to tell you the truth. Because at the end of the day, if I lie to you and tell you, it looks good, and I know it doesn't, well, I'm doing you a disservice, right? So the faster that I can tell you, hey, this is trash, or you're not thinking the right way, think this way, the faster you can get up and running and make a killing on the internet. And that's one thing about the internet, guys. The internet will tell you if you're right or wrong, because if they not purchasing, it's wrong. Simple as that. And the numbers don't lie. But it's definitely good to have people to bounce ideas off, to talk to really get a clear view of what one's thoughts are. And the faster that you can get someone in your corner to do that and to work with you on that, you'll literally start to experience the blessings, but it does take work, and you just got to consistently just keep hacking away at it. Don't give up. Just remember, it's something new. Chances are, if you're attempting something different, so it's going to take a while. It's definitely going to take a while. And if you guys heard him, he's talking to two people. Now, I'm almost for certain that you probably got a bunch of other people that you can be talking to.
Yeah.
And they probably haven't given you the information that you need to feel like you can move forward. So you've found that group, that core that can help you out, and you're taking full advantage of it, and that's a smart thing to do, brother.
So one thing that I read in the book Think and Grow Rich that kind of helped me along this way is they talk about the power of your mind and the power of having multiple people focus on a common goal. So what I realized throughout my marriage is anytime me and my wife set a goal, we achieved it super fast. Like if I set it by myself without communicating it with her, I achieve it, but not as fast as I achieve it when I tell her, and then we agree upon it, and then we agree to move forward with that goal. So for example, I wanted to live in Hawaii for 2 years. We went out there, we set that goal, and within 6 months we were out there in Hawaii. Everything from we wanted to have a child, we wanted a son first. Every goal that we set, we achieve it. So that's the good thing about having a group of people that you trust to share your secrets with, and then they're gonna want your success as much as you do. So like I said, you two guys, I bounce ideas off of, and I know you guys want my success just as much as I want yours. And when we put our minds together, everything that we put our minds to, we achieve and we flourish. So that's the power of that mastermind. I don't have enough time to go into the details of the science behind it, but if you get a chance to read Think and Grow Rich, it's a great book. Matter of fact, we should probably teach a class about those concepts, because we was watching Terrence Howard, his interview, and how the interesting things that he was talking about, and I think he had some jewels in there that I think people didn't pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something we can talk about later. We can educate the people on. I think people need to hear the power of your mind, and how if you focus on something with multiple people, it increases it tenfold, 10 times. So that's something we can talk about one day. We can educate the people on.
Absolutely. And guys, I wasn't always, where I am today, and even, with Mickens being my close friend, I knew everything that he was doing, vegan life and all of that, but even in the beginning, I didn't pay him any mind, and it all clicked in me one day, and I started understanding the power of the mind, and I actually started talking to him about the things that I didn't know that I knew that he knew on that end, on that level. Although when I first got going into the mindset and the vegan lifestyle, I wasn't really thinking about the money aspect. It's just a lot of things went on in my life, and I needed a clear vision, and he was able to help me with that aspect of it. And then when that happened, other things started to develop, and then I was able to come back to him and say, hey, this is what I know you taught me about, this mindset, this vegan thing, but there's another piece to this that you had the core, you had the base of it. Let me show you this other thing, and that's how we've been able to keep bouncing things off. You mentioned that Terrence Howard interview. It really went over a lot of people's head, and in the beginning, when I got started with this mindset thing, it frustrated me trying to get people to understand what I knew, what I got educated on, and it enabled me to find a passion, a love, and then I started to find other people who had that same passion, that same love, who would understand what Terrence Howard was talking about. And I stopped having those conversations with the crew that I was with, because it was actually emotionally wearing me down. And that's probably something that I personally still need to work on. Building relationships outside of what I know. But it's hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's hard for me because I got so many businesses going on. I always got to stay focused, and that's my number one thing. But maybe I'll come back to it one day. It is what it is. So if you could give anybody advice today on, getting started in their niche or something to read? I know you said Think and Grow Rich, so I'll make sure I add that into the show notes so you guys can go check that out. But what's your number one advice that you would give somebody today to get them going?
Trusting yourself. You are good enough. You can do whatever you want to do. I know it sounds like a cliche, and I know you heard it 1,000 times as a kid. But I think about it like this. I look at LeBron, I look at Michael Jordan. These are two people that growing up I look at reach their pinnacles or whatever in their respective sport, or they both play the same sport at different genres, in different time periods in their life or different decades. And I look at it, Michael Jordan wasn't born great. He wasn't born with supreme jumping ability. LeBron wasn't born 6'8" and able to jump out of the gym. I know they put in hours of work. Mm-hmm. They believed in themselves. I think over time, all right, Jordan got cut. He comes back the next year, works on his game the whole year. Then he start making his first couple of jumpers in the game. Then he starts increasing that belief in himself. So now he's going out there. He's not questioning if the shot's going in. He's done repped it so many times. He's done practiced so many times that it's no doubt in his mind. So now that muscle memory is so supreme, and that confidence in his shot, every shot that he shoots, there's no doubt in his mind that it's not going in. Mm-hmm. If you look at Steph Curry, I don't think he shoots a shot that he doesn't believe that's going in. And I realize when I play basketball, there's sometimes when I'm playing and I shoot it, and I have that slight little bit of inkling that it ain't going in. But when I come down 100% confidence and I know it's going in and there ain't no doubt in my mind, it goes in. And that goes in with the muscle memory, and that goes in with the mental aspect of believing in myself. So those two things. So whatever your craft is, perfect it. Work on it every day, so that way when you go out there, it's muscle memory. So there's a couple things that I learned about that. You do everything. First of all, first thing you do is you unconsciously unconscious. So you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. Then you become consciously conscious, consciously unconscious. So now I know what I don't know, right? So when you're born, I don't know how to walk. I don't even know what walking is. So I'm unconsciously unconscious. I don't know. I have no concept of it. So then you're old enough and you see other people walking. You're like, hey, what is that? I want to do that. So now I'm consciously unconscious. I know what I don't know how to do. Mm. So then you get to the point where, I'm taking my steps. I know how to walk. All right, I got it. So now I'm consciously conscious. Mm. I know what I know. And now it gets to the point where I walk out of the bed, I don't even think about walking. I just jump out. Right. So now I'm unconsciously conscious. Like, I don't even think about what I'm doing.
You just do it.
I just do it unconsciously. It's second nature. Mm. And that's what you want to get to, whatever your craft is, right? When it comes to driving. I drive home some days and didn't even think about how I got there. Not one time I'm in autopilot. I'm unconsciously conscious. I'm just doing it.
Just going.
So that's what Steph Curry is doing. He done practiced so many times that he just does it. LeBron, I done do it so many times. I done watch so much film. I done practice my shot. We done practice this play so many times that I don't even think about it. Oh, he done set the pick, boom. It's second nature. So whatever your craft is, you got to get to that point, right? I done shot so many pictures in so many different situations. I know my settings. Boom, 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 boom. Bam. And I'm there. You done talk to me about so many things that I call you. It's like you don't even think about how to answer it. Like, bro, you got to do this, and that. You know what I mean? It's just whatever your craft is, dive deep into it. So when it came to health, I took classes on Harvard. They got a free program online that you can take Harvard certificate classes. I know I wasn't paying for them, and I know I wasn't going to have a diploma or a receipt for it, but I had the information. So with photography, I did the same thing. Like, as we're speaking now, I'm editing my pictures. I'm looking at them. I'm reviewing my work from last night. I'm constantly practicing so that way when game day come, I'm unconscious with it. I'm not even thinking about it.
Come on.
So that's my one bit of it.
Ooh, you dropped some heat right there. I want to make sure I get that Harvard information from you because I want to add that to the show notes. Can you like study anything at that Harvard?
So it's called edX. On that website, they got everything. They got IT courses, they got health courses, they got everything. So I got several Harvard certificates saying that I'm Harvard educated. I didn't go to Harvard, and it might not mean nothing to nobody else, but I know I got the information. I'm sitting in on real live Harvard classes where they're breaking down cadavers, they're showing you ligaments, they're showing you what foods you eat affects certain parts of your life. So I have the information. At that point, I mean, I didn't pay for it, and I don't have a receipt for it, a diploma, but I know I have the information. So if you come ask me, I can tell you what research says. I can tell you the information. So, and that's how I went about it. I was working nights, had plenty of free time, so I just invested in myself, and I just took the time to study. And I study same thing with photography. I'm always looking at YouTube videos. I'm always looking at other people's work. Like I told you, I'm reverse engineering their work. I'm constantly critiquing my work. Like, I'll see something that people like, and I'm like, I could have did this a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, next time I come in, I'm not even thinking about it. And I go in and practice it, so that when I go out in the field, it's second nature.
Come on now, guys. One thing that I'll tell you, if you guys want, if you heard what he was saying, where Jordan, he took so many jump shots, right? And it became a craft that was second nature. He knew when he shot the ball, it was going in. Steph Curry knows when he shoots this ball, whether it's from the bleachers or full court, no doubt in his mind, he knows it's going in. And the way that this same thing can happen for you, and the way that they did it, was every day they knew their schedule. They knew their schedule down to the T. When they had an hour block in to take jump shots, guess what? There was not one distraction that was going on while they were taking jump shots. That full hour was dedicated to jump shots, and I'm pretty sure the next hour was probably dedicated to recovering the body, and then the next hour after that was dedicated to studying the craft, watching film and things like that, maybe even watching themselves take the jump shots. And that's what you have to do if you want to become that elite business owner, that top hairstylist. If you want to make it to the league or become the top photographer, whatever you want to do, mark it out in your daily plan. And when you're focused in, put the cell phone to the side, put the computer away, turn the notifications off. If you have kids, tell your spouse that you need to watch the kids in this hour because I have to focus. And the faster that you can come up with that game plan and start to focus, guys, I'm telling you, the floodgates start to open.
So one thing about that, the power of writing things down, right, and visualizing it, right? Once you see it, it makes it a little bit more real. And once you write it down, it kind of like seals it and stamps it. You put your signature on it. So one real quick thing is, before I moved to Hawaii and before I bought my house that I just recently purchased, the crazy thing is I created a brochure for myself. So I put the pictures that I wanted to go, like the places I wanted to live, the house that I wanted, and before I had my son, I said I want a son, and I put it in a brochure. And then I came back from Hawaii last year, and I was just going through my files, and I happened to look at the brochure. I'm like, yo, it's crazy. I really created this. Like, this was my life. I real life created that. And so now, even before then, I write down everything on white paper with blue ink, all my goals, because you also said write out your day, plan out your day. So I also do that with white paper and blue ink, and there's something about it. That's another thing I learned in the book, Think and Go Rich, and Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. Once you write something down, it's power in that, right? So I guess we can talk about that deeper at another day. But
manifesting things is real, guys, and writing that out and seeing it every day. The mind does not want to fail, and I said we'll get deeper into that, and of course, you know, when I'm coaching my students, you guys, that's what I do. You know, you have to manifest with me. You got to write down those goals with me, and I'm going to hold you accountable just as much as you should hold yourself accountable for that. But we're about to check out this yacht thing here in Annapolis. But before we get off, we rode down here on autopilot in Tesla.
Yeah.
And we had a little karaoke going on in the beginning. What are your thoughts on this Tesla life? Like, how was the experience of letting the car do the driving for you?
So, I love Tesla, everything about it. It's interesting that it takes a lot of stress out of driving. You just set it and forget it almost. We basically had a conference call or a meeting on the road, and we got to our destination, and we were able to do something else. So we were able to get to our destination and focus on something else. It just made everything effortless. So.
All right. So for all of my listeners out there, how can they reach out to you if, you know, they want, because you do more than just wedding photography, correct?
Correct. I do events, I do portraits, I do headshots, I do it all when it comes to photography. I also do videography as well. I do a lot of drone footage and just regular videography as well. But you can reach me on my website, Devin Mickens at Pixieset, PIXIESET.com. Also at my email, which is devinmickens@gmail. And then I'm also open for phone calls. My phone number is 757-746-3187. You can reach me at those three outlets. Also, my Instagram is Devin L. Mickens. So you can reach me at those four outlets and just shoot me a text or email. Go on my website, check out my pictures. You can shoot me an email through there. Direct message, whatever you need to get in contact with me. I'm always willing to listen and talk. Just reach out.
Cool. And are you just in the Washington, D.C. area, or? I
travel. So actually, I'm going back to Hawaii next month.
Okay.
I got a couple events that I'm doing out there. So I'm traveling. I'm everywhere. Wherever you need me, I'm willing to be there. So
sounds amazing. Once again, Devin, I appreciate you for taking the time out and doing this interview here on the podcast, riding up here. We're actually, I called him because I have a client here in Annapolis that they have a yacht out here that I'm going to go meet with, and you know, I'm really big on you know, spreading love, and I know that here, okay, my big thing is, you know, surround yourself around what you want. So you know, I understand that these clients out here, their money's a little different. We've been seeing Lamborghinis and Ferraris riding by already. There goes an Aston Martin right there. Their money's a little different out here. So, you know, I wanted to bring him out here because there's an opportunity, guys. Like, I'm pretty sure if he takes one client away from here, like,
it's worth it.
it's worth it. So, you know, whatever you want, immerse yourself in that, and you'll get exactly the results that you want. So I'll make sure that I have your contact information in the show notes. Once again, I appreciate you for being there to help me, as well as allowing me to help you in return, and also being a godson to your amazing son, man. He has an amazing son. I mean, godfather to your amazing son. Yeah, that little guy is special, man. Yeah. But I thank you for that, and the opportunity here, and everything that you've taught me. But guys, make sure that you, once again, like, share, and comment on this episode of Extremely Opinionated. You can go to extremelyopinionated.com to get these show notes as well as other shows. And make sure, if you guys want to become an elite hustler, okay, if you guys want to learn all of the information that I've been able to transfer over to Devin, and the information that he's transferred over to me to help me out, go to hustlethenet.com, and I have some amazing things there that I am starting to teach my elite hustlers, as well as you can get coached with me for the next 30, 60, or 90 days, and I will help you learn this online game. I'll teach you exactly how you can generate profits online, start to sharpen your axe for your niche and your craft, and watch you flourish, watch you turn into the person that you were put on this earth to be. So I definitely thank you guys once again for tuning in, and make sure you reach out to Devin Mickens if you need those photos, because guys, he's been taking all of my photos. They're amazing, as well as some other people that I know. He's been taking their photos, and it's been great. Do you have any last words that you want to say before we get off?
First of all, thank you for allowing me to come up here and share my experiences, and I look forward to talking with all you guys soon.
Boom, boom. Let's get it, guys. Let's hustle. Don't forget, always, always hustle.
Thank you for listening to the Extremely Opinionated Podcast. Keep learning from the show by visiting officialtravisdavis.com or by following Dr. Travis Davis on Instagram at officialtravisdavis. Now, go make your money work for you.